Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Saturday SmackDown. This time for... What is the date, Zua?
I think it's the 10th.
It's the 10th.
It's 10th.
Possibly.
10th
My phone is not on hand at the moment.
10th of January.
Normally I check this, and then when we suddenly start a stream, I'm like, oh god, what is the date? But yes, welcome back to Saturday SmackDown for the 10th of January, possibly 2015. This is actually a second SmackDown. We have already had one. I was unable to make that. I got caught up in traffic on the way back to uni. There was a rather long traffic jam after someone had a car accident, which is unfortunate, but the roads are icy this time of year where I live. I hope they were all okay. But yes, it was a fairly short best of 7. We're going to do a best of 3 here, which will explain why perhaps this video is or this series is going to be a lot shorter than normal. But as you may have seen by indeed the score down the right hand side of my screen, we are in fact joined by a third caster. Possibly one of the best players that Age of Empires 3 has ever seen. Certainly at some point in time. I think that is a statement I can make, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
would agree.
I don't know if H2O wants to, affirm that. He wants to
maintain
his humbleness.
Nor deny.
Don't
put me on the spot.
Like, you can't really answer that question.
I'm one of the people who.
He's one of the only people who's beat I Am Grunt in a real series. I mean, that in itself, it confirms that you're one of the best players he's ever played.
I'm not going to go on about this for long, but H2O has a lot of things to his name that we can go on about. Certainly a very good player indeed, and someone I haven't seen a whole lot of. It is nice to see him online, and it is certainly nice to be casting with him. So yes, a best of 3, me, Zusa, H2O, all 3 of us going to be casting this. We have, in the northwest of the map, Azak, in the colour blue, playing as the Germans here, going for a 205 food treasure. This is possibly...
I like this a lot. I was hoping you'd talk about this.
This is possibly one of the biggest treasures that is sort of easy to get. It just requires an intense amount of concentration.
It takes so much work.
Yeah, but people don't go for it, and it's just incredible when you get it.
You look at it and go, no, I can't be bothered.
That's a lot of monkeys. That's a lot of monkeys.
Why are there so many monkeys? But... I mean, he's killed 3 of them so far.
Yeah, he's getting that.
And with Japan, this treasure is really broken too, because the explorer will use their special divine shot power and just clear up the monkeys so fast.
Yeah, it's also a bit imbalanced in the fact that the melee scouts can't pick it up. China.
Yeah, Aztec's kind of out of luck here, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. All the monkeys will absolutely gang pile your explorer. They're only really ranged units effective at getting this. But, it looks like he's chosen to throw down a trading post as Germany, so perhaps something Fortress Age orientated. Certainly that's very nice. Fortress Age is quite nice for Germany. 205 food, going to be really useful for that, as it turns out. But in the south of the map, here, let's introduce our opponent. Black Star OP, in the colour red, also playing as the Germans. This is a mirror matchup, and before we started this game, H2O announced that mirror matchups are indeed his favourite, contrary to popular opinion. Would you like to tell us about that?
I like mirrors quite a bit, just because there's no way to kind of be at a disadvantage inherently in the matchup, and it can be something where it's purely more on mechanics and strategic choices rather than just the Civ's abilities. So that's kind of why I like mirrors a lot.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. It rewards skilled gameplay, definitely, rather than some of the BS-y things that can happen in matchups.
Although there are still BS-y things that can happen in mirrors, too.
Correct.
I mean, it doesn't mean that, 10 Doppelsonders can't, pop out of nowhere and siege your TC down, and all of a sudden you're out of luck.
Yeah, but you could have also made Doppelsonders and siege down his. You had the opportunity to, you know what I mean? Yeah. You had the opportunity to outplay the person, guaranteed.
And you just didn't do it.
The point is clear. There's certainly a lot of it's completely balanced. It's a mirror matchup, and the outcome of the game is therefore more likely to come down to your decision making and who's better at playing the game, the mechanics of it, I suppose. There's certainly that. But both players on their way up pretty much identically at the same time. I'm looking at those age up bars, and I think they clicked up at pretty much the same time. That's a rare. This is a mirror matchup.
Within a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, Black Star did get 150 wood and 70 gold. Actually, 200 wood. So he won Age 1. 195 food is not better than 200 wood and 70 gold. So despite getting that treasure that we were excited about, I would say that, overall Blackstar came out slightly ahead in Age 1.
That's the thing about that treasure as well, right? It takes so long to take. If you are going to sink like your explorer time into getting that, especially on like this particular map,
especially as Germany with only one scouting
it means
unit.
You're not going to get like 110 wood. You're not going to get like 50 or 40 wood. Like you're not going to get all those other little wood treasures.
Yeah, and it depends on how much wood spawns on the map too. Though, like this case, I think it turned out. I mean, you have no way of knowing it's Germany, right? But this time it turned out probably to not be the best choice, just because there were 250 wood and small treasures on the map that he missed out on for it.
Yep.
I wonder if that's what the sad face he just made Chaz for, because he just picked up the last wood treasure.
Wood treasure, it is huge. And I mean, obviously, wood being the slowest gathering resource is any time you can get any amount of it, like even if it's like a small wood treasure, it's just so big.
Are they both going doppels? Sorry to change it.
Players starting with a barracks.
It looks like they're both going doppels.
And in Q, we do indeed see, nothing.
Nothing.
Oh no.
They're one pike,
nice.
one
3
pike
settler
and one
wagon came
doppel.
out. I like it.
One pike and one doppel. So blue currently having pikes in queue, and red currently having doppelsodners in queue.
Black tells me he's
two
going to try to
cavalry
age,
coming in here, going to take out that explorer there. Might be able to grab himself 45 XP, but the blue cavalry coming in to push this off. Actually, so Black Star going to get away right there.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's tough. Like, what are 5 pike going to accomplish here?
Well, I would go like 3. If you're going to try this, it's 3 pike to age up behind it, right? Just to buy the time you need. But I don't know. It's going to be scary, right? Doppels are kind of scary in this matchup. It's like if you get up, then the doppels are instantly useless. But until then, they're just insanely useful, right?
Yeah. Certainly, A's does. I mean, he's sitting at 900 food, 450-ish gold, versus Red, who essentially has zeros across the board in his bank. I mean, he's made a full batch of doppelsodners. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be scary. And we'll have to see.
I think you age up fast here as blue. By the way, I think you need to get up, and you need to get the skirm shipment in queue when you know he's got this many doppels. I mean, it'll just take too long to get up.
Engagement here though with the cavalry though. Players going to be moving those cavalry around to try and make all of your opponent's cavalry follow. But now that those 5 doppels have appeared. There wasn't really any units left, but certainly the cavalry can't continue there. He's not doing a huge amount with the doppelsodners right now, and Azam could quite easily get up to the next stage. He has gone up with the age up fast option, as you were saying, using that 700 coin which he shipped to get up there. And if he can get those skirmishes out, certainly going to be looking quite good, because these doppelsodners are only so useful for a limited more amount of time.
Yeah. He has the Rex too, and those pikes are even distracting for doppels. And we see Blackstar's going in. I think what he's going to do is just be able to get a tower here and then have to kind of walk away, because the threat of skirmishers is going to be pretty real by the time that tower's down.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Is the tower truly worth it? Do you think perhaps a house is maybe
I think
difficult?
I don't think he can get to the house, because see these minutes just popped out, right? If he was by the house, that would have been a lot scarier.
You would lose more doppelsodners that way.
The only real risk here is if somehow the blue player's behind in vills, which can happen sometimes when you do these fast age ups. You kind of cut a vill or two, but otherwise he's in an awesome position. I think.
Yeah, he is in a really good spot. I mean, Blackstar is now trying to save to age him. He's got 1,000 food, 900 coin. Going to be trying to age up here soon, but
man, those pikes are even awesome too, because they're just gonna buy so much time. I really like the 4 pikes.
He's got to make something happen with these 10 doppelsodners to just justify being
going to
so
go down
far
there, not too good, and perhaps a
whole
bunch.
Although
of
I would have liked I would have liked the pike a bit more if they were by the Ulhan right now, but they're very good. They're very good.
And these 1 Minutemen, they're going down. It's sad. Obviously, they did defend his tower for a little bit, and they did take out a doppelsodner, but that is a sad face kind of moment there. These doppelsodners are going to take out this house that is fairly out on the front there. The pike's going to come in, perhaps going to try and lure those doppelsodners away.
There's the skirms, and the pikes are going to
and the pikes engaging, going to slow them down to try and limit their escape. And the skirmish is certainly going to do a lot of damage. Though managing to escape with 3 doppelsodners, sending 1 back by the looks of it, going to take out that remaining cavalry unit so he can escape. Skirmish is able to get a shot off that 1 pikeman being really quite pesky and slowing them down. Another doppelsodner goes down. You have to remember, these things are worth 200 resources, most of which is coin. So that is really not too happy about that. And as you can see, they've kind of been rendered useless now that ASM has managed to safely and pretty successfully get up to the Fortress Age.
The scary thing here, though, is that he did lose some vills, and you in these mirror matchups, you can't lose 1 or 2 vills like that and be in the same age. Even though he's down by that 1 shipment, he's got to make something happen right now. Otherwise, he's going to be a little bit behind, right?
I mean,
they'll add up over time.
They're at the same villager count. They're at 30 vill population for A's versus 31 and 31. They're tied up on the nuts right now. So
that's awesome.
He's
in a good position.
He's in a good position. He's further ahead in his age 3 progression. The one thing that does concern me is where's this huge score difference coming from?
That's why I thought he had a few more bills.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about that. I guess it's just military population. Black Star does have.
Is he sending perhaps a mercenary shipment?
What's that tavern? I'm out. What's that tavern doing back there? Do you think he's gonna have Mamelukes or no?
No, Mamelukes are an age 4. I was right. I call it the 14 Black Riders. I think it is something like that. Yeah, coming out. True Azamk-esque style YOLO swag build. Mamelukes, unfortunately, are an industrial age mercenary. But in there, we'll be able to tell if we go to the Q option. Nothing just yet, but certainly, wow. But then having said that, look at the amount of skirmishes Black Star's got going out, plus some wagons behind this.
And Black Riders do not have range resist, so they do not fare well against skirms.
No, that is.
We can see that, right? I mean, that's like 2 goons in 1, and it almost got 1 shot there.
Yeah.
So.
But this does explain the large score difference. The way the score works in Age of Empires 3, as everyone will be aware, is of course 100 resources on the battlefield or in your inventory is equal to 1 score point in the score. Though there is a fight going on here. We see the cavalry taking out some skirmishes there. Red Skirm's now going to come in. Those Black Riders going to get forced away. They won't want to stay there much longer. So just a little bit of a small engagement once the cavalry were able to pick out some of the skirmishes. I wasn't looking at that the entire time. But yes, the score difference, obviously 100 resources equals 1 point. But the way that works for mercenaries is not quite the same. Obviously, you spend 1,000 resources getting them, so you minus 10 score. But when they arrive, you don't get compensated for that 10 score you lost. They're not actually, if you have mercenaries, your score goes down a lot where really it shouldn't.
Yeah, they're getting caught here, though, so it might actually...
It's true, going to stray, walk across these... whoa, settler wagons, they definitely got caught. And
this
these Black
tricky
Riders
position.
Being forced to walk or accidentally walking perhaps past all these skirmishes and the veteran warriors taking some shots there. Still nothing in queue at that Pookie's Tavern.
Pookie's Tavern.
Pookie's Tavern. I do like seeing...
What was the actual mercenary in there?
We don't know yet.
We don't know until he queues.
Oh, we can't check. Got it.
Yeah, we're waiting for him to queue on. He just doesn't seem to have enough coin to do that right now. Perhaps he's waiting on a 1,000
It could be something like a Lankerschnecker or something random,
Yeah.
Some random unit you don't really want.
It could also be like Jaegers or something, though, as well.
Yeah, Jaegers are really good.
They are good, but when you have a huge, massive skirmishes, it's not like adding anything to your composition. That can be kind of frustrating when you're perhaps hoping for something really quite awesome from there. But we'll have to wait and see what he does do. It is an issue of no coin, or perhaps there is genuinely nothing worthwhile training right now. So far, we saw a little bit of an engagement, just skirmishes shooting at each other. I think Black Star, the largest skirmisher map, did come off better there, but not going to pursue that right now. Blue,
Black
Riders. I think, because that house scouted them, and now those settler wagons going to get back, but still the incredible amount of range damage plus speed on these Black Riders going to get some work done on these settlers, and actually put the Black Star at a disadvantage here economically. These are worth 2 vills each.
Wow, did you see that? He actually just turned with his settler wagons and picked off the 10 HP Black Rider.
I was looking at it at the time, but I did not see that happen, but there will be video proof. That was... holding his ult bar, shooting the low HP ones. What a pro.
Again, getting caught. This is going to be another expensive catch, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, never mind.
This is just the point where, we're kind of just seeing, why standard play is standard. We're just seeing the War Wagon Skirm composition be so much more effective than the Black Rider, Pookie's Tavern,
Azam swag style.
Pookie's Tavern.
And
Azam
does
if you don't let him do it, right?
Yeah. There's the GG. He's just...
And you look at the map right now too. You look at the Black Star's totally comfortable everywhere on the map, gathering for free, and all of Azam civils are stuck in his base because of the Black Rider decision.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the moment of truth. Hackapels.
Oh, that's
overpriced wool hand.
It's not. Yeah, but sometimes you do see a real good mercenary in there, and actually, a lot of the mercenaries are better than you'd think. Like spies are surprisingly fast moving and have surprisingly ninjas. That's the one. Pretty high hit points, and they're actually pretty good against regular units. I remember playing against these and popping them out on me, and I'm thinking, what ninjas? These are no good. And
something like Highlanders or something too would have been just like. I mean, it at least adds like something different to your composition.
I think the best, if he couldn't get Mames, the best mark might have actually been Jaegers, because Jaegers beat other skirms because they have that extra 10 range resist, so they kind of beat other skirms.
Yeah,
but that does conclude the first game. I'm now going to head on out and end this recording. We'll see you all in the next game in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 in Saturday SmackDown for possibly the 10th of January 2014. This is game number 2 on Kamchatka, of all maps. A map made by Gaia. This is, a pretty good map, actually, with regards to competitiveness in the sense of, well, the actual map itself, resource balance, and it's aesthetically a very nice map. I believe we have covered this before, or at least by the time this video is live, it will certainly have been covered before in a previous video of mine. As you can see, it looks quite nice. It's got lots of choke points on it, a nice trading route down the middle here, and the hunt and mine distribution is pretty good. It's resemblant of Great Plains, I might add, perhaps, which is indeed a fairly common map. What's going on? What are you laughing about?
I don't know. Black Star's just like randomly rotating.
Rotated? Yeah, I saw that. I was waiting to see if anyone else would pick up on that. We also had the high wood start, like 300 wood, so it's gonna be a really comfortable port consulate for Japan.
And he has just found the 90 wood treasure. What a pro! Walking over straight to that hashtag map packs.
I did kind of hint before the game started. I was like, there's always 90 wood in the middle. It's almost always in that spot every game. I don't know why. Yeah. Every single game I walk straight there.
Gaia made these maps. He's rigging it, dudes. Guys, that's why. We've confirmed. You heard it here first.
That's why he gets 140 food on high plains every game.
he made the map. He knows where it spawns.
He knows where it starts. But yes, grabbing the 90 wood, that is absolutely exceptional for Japan. Plus the the high wood crate starting with lots of wood crates. You're going to get that early consulate up, get that Portuguese allies in there, and make the cost of your shrines a lot cheaper. And of course,
that's 2 houses with 0 chopping. That's really convenient. He doesn't have to macro at all here. He just gets to gather food and age up with 2 houses. It's
Japan,
really nice.
Really happy with that. But yes, here he is in the south of the map in the color red, rotating his buildings. Indeed has the rotator mod installed, which I'd just like to point out on stream for the first time that Ryzon, our good old community moderator, who we see so much of, is indeed confirmed that you can use this and is completely fine and there's no rule breaking. And it was actually implemented into the game. It just appears that there was no way to actually use it. So there's a mod made and you can do that and that's perfectly fine. But yes, in the north of the map, in the color blue, we do have Azemk. Here he is. Starting with a trading post as the British. Fairly interesting.
We should cover this again. It's a really cool strategy. He goes for this TP, as Tom was telling, or Zuda was telling me this a second ago. He goes for that TP, and then he does 3 vills, and then he sneaks in Virginia Company to make all of his houses cheaper. And it's really cool that he's able to get that in, because a lot of times, it's a cool card, but you can't really send it because you need to send the bills. Yeah. So it's cool that he found a way to get it into his build.
That's true. That card doesn't see a huge amount of play in the sense that it reduces everything by the cost of, I believe it makes them cost 88 wood. But in theory, if you build all of them, I think you save something like 900 wood, and that's all of your houses. That's quite a lot of houses. It's quite a steep requirement to get the value out of that card. Whereas a shipment like 700 wood, you get all of that wood instantly and is arguably better perhaps for that reason. Obviously it's not quite as black and white as that, but just like to chuck that in. Gets the extra XP from that early trading post to get that. Perhaps it's not as good as standard play, but it's certainly Azamk-esque, and it's certainly a timing. It results in a timing that I guess a lot players are familiar with, and Azam seems to make his strange things work because of the element of surprise and the unfamiliarity that players do have sometimes with his builds.
At the same time, like, one thing you do have to consider, like you mentioned, it's 900 wood, and it's 900 wood value coming out of an age 1 slot. So it's not like it's just 900 wood. It's 900 wood coming out of an age 1 slot, True. Which is like actually like fairly significant. Like those cards are only supposed to be worth 300 resources, and you're getting 900 resources out of it. So at the end of the day, it's not that bad of a trade-off. And he does have a trading post too. to go with it, right? So
Yeah, exactly, and that's the key, right? Because then it doesn't slow down his build. It probably feels very smooth, right? Because his 700 wood isn't too delayed, and we don't really talk about that much, but the build being smooth is a big deal, right? If he was waiting forever for that 700 wood, it wouldn't be a smart idea.
Yep, but he doesn't have to slow down that 700 wood, which means that he's free to carry on with his build and just have cheaper houses and more villas as a result. So the one thing I think that you can tend to do with this build is overboom, and I've seen him, I've even played against him in games where, you know, he's like on 17 or 18 houses and he just doesn't have any military, and
that's going to work out in his favor this game. Man. Look at those wall segments going down for Japan. If I were him right now, I would have like 2 villas on food, which looks like what he does. Yeah, I mean, it's going to pay off a lot here. I think if he goes for the FI.
Point out here that Japan, right, is building this giant wall, investing lots of wood into this. That's going to slow his boom down in a sense. I mean, it does cost a bit of wood. But, you know, I think maybe this is in response to the trading post. Blackstar says, British has gone for early trading post. This must mean they have some sort of colonial agenda which requires XP and spamming shipments at me, and perhaps is some sort of slightly more aggressive than traditional Brits, and he wants to maybe add in a wall for that reason, possibly. But at the same time, I do feel as if, at least from my own experience, British does seem to be able to boom harder and faster than Japan can. And in this game, certainly with his Virginia company, cheap houses, this is going to be a very strong boom.
Yeah,
but there's Grens coming out.
Yeah,
so
have you seen
at the
this?
Same time,
there's an artillery point.
There is? Where? What am I?
It's a proxy. It's up by the river.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It would be good, but the barracks is up from Japan, right? So there's going to be 5 Yumi coming out. So he may get 1 house with them, but after that he may have to run.
But it's still 600 wood. Like, he might not. What if he just like goes? Can he get the Teshuga down?
No, I wouldn't go Teshuga. Like there's 5 concentrated shrines, I would take out all 5 of those shrines.
Yeah. That could actually be okay.
These
every building has been rotated, by the way. I wanted to point that out as well.
Even the one like it doesn't matter.
Because he
can. Yeah, like rotated cherry orchard, so it's like takes up slightly more space.
Yeah. But in response to this, guys, he's adding in a stable in the back there against obviously grenadiers, and the only thing you're going to be able to train out of the artillery foundry is those. These are going to be rendered completely useless once those cavalry do start coming out. Though he's got, you know, a good perhaps half a minute, maybe a minute before they do come out, and perhaps going to be able to make, you know, get the best out of these 5 Grens, kill quite a lot of shrines fairly quickly, and these things, you know, they're monstrous in terms of siege damage.
Yeah, but British has a card for them that actually makes them potentially viable with muskets, which is, you know, it's kind of cool. I've actually seen Grens work a few times with British. Never seen them work with anyone else though.
I want to point out that like Blackstar shipped 600 coin as well, so like he has every intention of aging and not like committing to defending these Grens. So the Grens could potentially do a lot of damage if.
Or is he going to pop out 5 cav with the stable?
He does have one in queue right now.
That it's 10. When he sees 10 Grens, so he does have that option, right?
It's true.
He's seen 5. He now sees 10. Yeah.
You almost have to when you see 10 Grens and no barracks.
Yeah, 5 cav do come out. That's going to look pretty devastating. I mean, Azek has no knowledge of this. He has not seen a stable, I don't think. And Grenadiers having a 50% ranged resist and a really bad hand attack. I mean, they're pretty good at range, and they can be pretty decent at range and against things that, well, yes. But these cav are absolutely going to tear them apart. That's
the one Gren that got left behind is doing work on this Gren, though. I must.
Oh, he died
at the end.
Yeah,
I do like to scout.
He's going for the Hail Mary.
Oh, what, 34 HP? Yeah, he might have been able to take that down with the scout, possibly. But yeah, I like his split. He sends 5 Grenadiers off quite far away, bringing these cav quite far away, so they're going to have to walk back and walk quite far before they can do anything else, and managing to escape with 5 Grens still alive. What do you think? Did he come off well with these Grens? Did he manage to kill enough shrines? Bearing in mind that he's now sieging more of them.
Well, he's only killed 1 shrine, so I would argue that he's in a very bad position from the Grens, but he's got muskets coming out.
That's true.
I feel like this has set up Blackstar to be able to now go H3 totally comfortably, right? Look at where the Grens are relative to his base.
Yeah.
and they're getting caught as well,
Oh,
I
wow.
guess. But
And the musketeers not quite here yet. That is truly unfortunate. Oh, what? 5 musketeers there. I thought that they weren't quite ready, but actually, gonna force those cavalry away. Perhaps they'll get a villager kill. They're now gonna come in, gonna try and get a cheeky kill there, focusing down the one villager. Can they get away from the muskies? Yes, they can. Taking out the villager and getting away. Wow, that was that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it might be a repeat play coming in here on this film by the tree back here.
Oh, that's really cheeky and sort of frustrating for Azen. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, muskets do move. Ooh, that hussar pop. That was a really good pop.
Wow, catching the neg, and that is here. They're not going to be able to escape. Getting 2 of them right away, and the
He's
final
gonna get
2
2
trying to
away.
escape. That one cavalry, they're being slowed down by the one behind it, allowing actually the front 2 on the front to escape.
And hey, there's some sieging going on. He did get that 34 HP shrine with some muskets down here. That was a nice little sneak.
Yeah, and he's continuing to siege down shrines with his grenadiers here. So, actually, getting a fair amount of shrine kills. Yes, he did lose a lot of grenadiers, but at the same time, he forces Japan to slow down his age up by making cavalry when perhaps he otherwise wouldn't out of his 600 coin.
He also caught 2 more of the Nagis. And the only thing that's kind of scary here is if you look at the back corner of the map. I mean, there's shrines everywhere. I mean, what's his shrine count at?
He's at
like
140.
15.
He's at 140 pop.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
pretty. I mean, that's the only scary thing is that he's been able to set up those shrines.
Zuta,
Yeah.
as a Japan player, what do you think of this so far for the Japanese player? Is he perhaps behind in his shrine count? I mean, you play him quite a lot. You're quite familiar with how it goes.
I think he's in a good spot. I mean, he's aging even behind this.
Yep.
The important thing is look at the number of Yumi and stuff he has back here. It's going to be very, very difficult for 7 Hussar, 5 muskets, and 5 grenadiers to push into the base through that many Yumis, the walls, and the Minutemen pop that is inevitably going to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for him to get in, and then, I mean, at that point, then something like 2 flaming arrows or 8 ashies or something like that's going to pop out. The upgrades are going to start rolling. And during all of this, you still have all these shrines, like H2O mentioned, just gathering back here that at some point you need to deal with just to even just free up your eventual hunt. But I mean, you just don't have enough time to do all that.
That's the Gren's job this game, by the way. Those Grens are not going anywhere. They should just be looking for shrines.
That is their
to
one
kill.
duty.
And to be fair, I mean, they do take down shrines very quickly. So,
Yeah, it's not bad. The fact that they're still alive is a really big advantage that he has. Dude, are you afraid of the Brit economy here?
I mean, he's at 44 vils.
Only just got to 44 though. Those 5 vils only just arriving, so that's not representative of his economy so far in the game. But yes,
I mean, he is up 14 villagers, but I mean, obviously Japan has shrines at this point, and I don't know that I'm I think it could be higher. I mean, I would be more worried if Brit had something like 58 vils or something like that. But as it stands right now, he's at 48 vils. I'm not super scared as Japan here that I'm going to get just blown over by a huge mass of Brit stuff.
And you are up to fortress in approximately right now.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
he's reshrining too. He's just keeping him busy.
Yeah.
Keeping the Brit player so busy.
But another thing I would like to highlight is when you do reshrine, I mean, if you remake 10 shrines, even at 75 wood, that's 750 resources that you're not immediately going to get back. And so I have seen situations where Japan players, are so persistent in remaking those shrines.
Yeah.
It's okay to be at 130 shrine pop. You don't have to be at 200 shrine pop in order to have a good economy. You can be at 130 and stabilize with your military and still be perfectly fine, not dying, and have a really strong economy. And that is a situation that sometimes we do see happen, where people will overzealously make too many shrines, and then they just kind of get caught with their pants down, not ready for a huge mess. But I don't see that happening with Black Star.
He's not doing that right now. He's pushing up. He just denied the hunt for the Brit player. He's making a lot of good choices. Just like you said, he's not overshrining, I don't think.
Yeah, and this barracks right here in the open, and indeed the artillery foundry slightly to the south of it now looks rather vulnerable. Certainly no units right here, right now, to sort of force the aggression away from that barracks, and indeed the artillery foundry perhaps gonna lose its infrastructure, its 2 forward buildings here. 2 flaming arrows, of course, have arrived as a shipment. They are rather out in the open there, but they won't be for much longer, I'm sure. Yes, Blackstar now gonna bring those units back, realizes that they can siege that. Look at the range on flaming arrows, good god.
It's really good.
Yeah. He's still making Grens, by the way. I love the way that he commits to the Gren. Like when he does a strategy, he means business. You know, he's going to keep making Grens. He's not going to give up on it.
There's no
and they work. They're not doing too bad either, really. So.
Yeah, he's got like these 2 little shrine killing parties that he's just running around the map, clearing out everything with.
But what happens when Japan decides to right click on your town center right now? You know, normally I don't advocate for that, but
fortunately, Japan has decided that he's going to age.
Wow. Industrial Age on the way, guys. Gonna see some interesting play out of Black Star. Zuta, you've raved and told us how much you're not sure about Industrial Age. What do you think of it right now?
I think he's far enough ahead at this point that it doesn't matter, to be perfectly honest. I think he can kind of do whatever he wants. But I don't know. It just always seems so much safer to me to use those 3,200 resources to just make like a huge mass of like unkillable Ashigaras and then just like smashing into his base instead.
Hey, another thing we gotta see. I would love to see the Wonder on speed mode in this case. Sorry to cut you off. I just realized that he hasn't changed his Wonder yet, and with all this runaround that's going on, that like to your point, having all those resources with speedy units, you know, he wouldn't be able to get out of his base.
Yeah, especially with like this little grenadier force like continually like being forced down to the south side of the map to clean up shrines and stuff. Could be certainly really good. But yeah, I would just always there's almost never a situation where I wouldn't rather just see Japan with. I mean, there's so many upgrades you can get for Ashigaras in Age 3, right? You can get both the Golden Pavilion upgrades. You can switch your consulate over to Isolation. You can ship the HP card. You can ship the attack card. Like, there's 5 or 6 upgrades that you can get for Ashigaras alone in the 3rd Age. And why not just make use of all those upgrades instead of like trying to age up to the 4th Age? Just to get like one more like kind of marginal upgrade where you could already get like 6 more upgrades in the 3rd Age. I mean,
he's going Monitor in the Pond.
Monitor in the Pond.
Which I'm kind of disappointed that he's going that way. You know, it just seems kind of like a dirty move. But
further to point,
he's gonna be surprised when a Monitor shell hits his town center.
Wow!
I'll tell you that much.
Flaming arrows coming out. 4 flaming arrows have just arrived as part of the Industrial Age. That's certainly a benefit you do get from going up to the Industrial Age. The insane amount of the decency of the unit of the units you can ship, but also the upgrades that you can get. Certainly, staying age 3, as Zuta says, is perfectly good. But the Industrial Age is viable as well. And is perhaps not something Zuta prefers, but it is what he's elected to do this game. Monitor in the Pond, we're going to see a shell come right out. It does need line of sight, though, on something in order to make that happen. We shall see.
He just needs to have scouted it, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know that
he just needs to have scouted it.
I don't know if he's scouted it, though. Like,
really? maybe you're right.
And I don't like certainly.
Perhaps he's saving it to annihilate all of those falconets of blue once the fight actually starts. We've seen that before, Zuta.
Yeah, we have. There was a game last week where it was Chalet versus Yumiu, and Yumiu had multiple monitor shots that killed in one go multiple organ guns. Yeah, it was like 5 organ guns just falling over to a monitor shell.
The shot just went off. Let's see where it's gonna land.
Oh, they're on the TC, so he's electing to take that out. Yeah, we do see though a church has gone down from Azemp. He has in the bank queuing up the resources. Perhaps he wants to spend that on the Black Watch, which is 1,000 food, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but
he likes Black Watch
his spawn point has just gone down, so it's not ever going to be able to arrive. There is nowhere for it to arrive at. And here you see an absolutely monstrous amount of flaming arrows just wreaking havoc on absolutely everything. Blue does have one culverin in the back, but actually the range on these flaming arrows is actually able to almost take that out. I'm sure it will go down, and these falconets not going to last much longer. As you can see, the red units absolutely these honored upgrades and all the upgrades that Japan can have absolutely tearing apart the British army, despite longbowmen actually being pretty good against honored archers. But Japan for you there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I think it was just losing those 5 grunts kind of, he lost the initiative that he needed to keep the shrines in check, and Black Star's good enough to capitalize on that, and he ran that advantage all the way through the game, which is awesome.
The 5 cav, like you mentioned, like if he would have had 5 muskets or something, like to go with those first 5 grins, it could have been like a completely different. I think he was kind of banking on the fact that like there would only be a few Yumi to defend, and like there just wouldn't be that much of a defense, and like the like you could make 10 Grens, kill all those shrines, and then like follow it up with muskets and still not have to worry about it. I think he was trying to cut some corners a little bit and try and squeeze out, like I mentioned, just try and squeeze out a few extra manners so that he could like continue his boom and still like be sieging shrines. And Blackstar just was able to appropriately respond, and as a result was able to like pick off those Grens and, like you mentioned, just kind of roll it into an advantage that he never really relinquished, and just kind of kept the pressure up the rest of the game.
Yeah. But there we have it. Game number 2 in this best of 3, going to Blackstar. So that does conclude the best of 3, unless you guys have more games.
I think I'm going to be done, actually.
Yeah. And again, I'd like to apologise for missing the actual best of 7, which will be available obviously in the Twitch broadcast somewhere. And if I will at some point get around to putting that. I say that now, but now I will try. I will maybe put that on the official Age of
You'll
Empires
make
channel.
your
At least
best
subscribe to
efforts.
that channel.
You'll make your best effort.
Yes, but now that I'm back at uni, I cannot be randomly stuck at work like the week before this, or travelling to university like this week. I am now here, therefore I will consistently be able to be here on Saturdays. So,
Sweet.
just like to point that out. But at least I did get some casting in. Pretty happy about that. Otherwise, I feel as if losing out on the practice. I do need to start doing videos on my own as well. It's cast out. Perhaps I've become lazy. Saturday SmackDown is just such an opportunity to actually do it, and yeah, I don't know.
It's just an easy way out. Yeah, it's an easy way out.
Certainly a lot of fun though.
Shots fired,
H2O. But I'm now going to end my recording. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.